Hey folks, it's Kate here. I'm a yoga teacher and pelvic floor specialist. In today's video, we're going to talk about creating space in your ribcage using some things you've probably got laying around the house. So stay tuned, hit that notification bell, and enjoy this video. So why do we want to focus on the ribcage specifically? So at the bottom of our rib cage, we have this muscle called the diaphragm. And when everything's moving efficiently and as it should, our diaphragm expands. It stimulates the vagus nerve, which helps keep us calm and stable and feeling good about our day and not stressed out. When our rib cage isn't moving and it's stuck in one position or another because of our lifestyle, because of injury, whatever it may be, that diaphragm doesn't get the movement that is ideal to make our breaths long and deep, to get us lots of oxygen, and to let our brain know through the vagus nerve that we're safe, we're good, we can go about our day with a very kind of steady, calm sense of focus. I do talk a little bit about getting your rib cage moving in my last video. You can see that up here. But I want to get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty in this video. So if you've been in the yoga space, basically any kind of exercise class, you may have heard the term belly breathing or take a deep breath into your belly. And this is something that I used as well up until just a few years ago. And it's meant to convey that we want to take a deep breath. However, if we are literally only letting our belly expand on our inhale, or primarily letting our belly expand on our inhale, then our rib cage isn't getting much movement because the belly's doing all of the expansion. So what I would encourage you to think about instead is taking an expansive inhale and think about letting your rib cage expand 360 degrees. So we can try this if you don't have any props, we'll get to those in a minute, by kind of pinching your low rib cage. And as you inhale, try to fill out your rib cage into your hands and just see what happens. You might notice that your breath feels a little bit different, that it's challenging. Maybe you're not getting any movement at all. That's okay. We're just experimenting here, and we're going to do some movement to loosen up our rib cage. So our posture is one of the major influences of whether or not our rib cage is able to move or ends up becoming kind of like stuck in one position or another. I know, no surprise. So just depending, on what you do. If you sit at a computer all day, you might kind of find yourself hunched over. And when you're stuck in this position, there's not really anywhere for your breath to go. It kind of can't even go into your belly. So it tends to kind of stay up here in your shoulders, a shallow breath. Now, if you're a parent, you might find that you kind of like hike a kid on a hip, or you're cocked over to one side, or you're leaning back, and so this area in your mid back tends to get tight. And then if you compound that with sitting at the desk all day, it's kind of this combination where everything is just really tight and your rib cage becomes not very mobile. And so we're going to talk about how to get that mobile in this video. So a couple things to grab and you might find helpful: a belt or a yoga strap set up in a loop, and then either a bolster, a pillow. I'm just going to use my yoga blanket here. That seems to be like the right proportion for my torso length. And we're going to use these props to help give us feedback and let us know if our rib cage is expanding, where it's expanding, that kind of thing. So something to keep in mind as we are exploring how our breath moves in our body and how our body responds to our breath is that we're not looking for rigidity in any one place in our torso. We're looking for good, even overall expansion. And using these props will give us some feedback so we know where we're moving, where we're not moving, and it'll kind of give us targets for where we want to expand on our inhale. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our strap. And we want it in a loop. We're going to put it around our our low rib cage. Put it in. Okay, so we want this to be firm, but not squeezing us to death. Okay. And this is something you can even do, you know, you could wrap the tail up and practice yoga like this to see how your breath changes during your practice. So this is really simple. We're just going to stay here, sit up nice and tall. And then inhale, and on your inhale, I want you to try to expand into all areas of the belt and just see how that feels. Your exhale can be nice and passive. All right, now notice, was this hard, easy? Did you maybe find more expansion in one area? I tend to expand more in the front part of my rib cage and I get less movement in the back. So that's just information for me to consider when I'm practicing. All right, so this is one way to get feedback, and you can, you know, you could just sit at your desk with the belt around and practice expanding into the belt. So the next thing we're going to do is to really explore the back part of our body on our inhale. We're going to take child's pose, but I encourage you to bring your legs together because we're really trying to go for a curve in the length of the spine. And you also have the option here to put a little bit of a roll underneath your chest. So I want this roll, it could be a bolster or pillow, to again hit like right about the rib cage. We're not looking for so much compression on the belly, but we want to get that rib cage back so we can really lengthen the spine. Now we're going to fold over and we're going to let ourselves relax here. You might bring a block or pillow under your head if that's comfortable. Now stay in that position, and I want you to think about on your inhale, expanding into the length of your spine. And then as you exhale, you're just going to relax forward over this roll. Big inhale, feel your spine expand up. Exhale, relax. So especially in this child's pose variation, we're really using our inhale to lengthen and expand and get more stretch, and we're letting our exhale relax. And with that bolster or roll underneath our rib cage, we're really able to tell like where along our back things might be a little bit tight or could stand to use a little bit more loosening up. So don't forget to check out the quick practice where we incorporate some of the things that I've talked about in this video to really get your rib cage moving. And of course, like and subscribe to stay up to date on videos.